He hurried to his car, grabbed a cake box, and handed it to me. Happy birthday, Tyler. Quilla chimed in at just the right moment. That cake was meant for me, but what a coincidence. It's your son's birthday. Ms. Langley, I hope you don't mind. The cake in my hands felt unbearably heavy. I was about to return it, but the spark of joy in Tyler's eyes stopped me. My heart softened. He did not understand the battles between adults. He only looked at Matthew with hopeful eyes. Will you eat it with me? Matthew hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Tyler cheered and dragged me into the living room. He urged me to get the cake out. I patted his head and quickly cut the cake. However, the moment I tasted it, my smile froze. Spit it out. You can't eat this. Panic gripped me as I snatched the cake from his hands. Matthew's face darkened. Whitney, are you crazy? I raised my head and my eyes were stinging with tears. Tyler is allergic to mango. You didn't know? Matthew's expression shifted to alarm. I'm sorry. I didn't know he was sorry again. Since Tyler was born, I had heard that word far too many times. Tyler froze and stared at Matthew with wide eyes. The hope in them dimmed. It's okay. He couldn't have known. With that, Tyler buried his face in my embrace and refused to look at him again. Without hesitation, I stood, carried Tyler, and walked out. Even as we left the house, I could still feel Matthew's regretful, frantic gaze. This time, neither Tyler nor I wavered. I went straight to the office and packed up my things. I had wanted to say goodbye properly, but it did not matter anymore. After setting the signed divorce agreement on the desk, I let out a deep breath. I picked up my suitcase and took Tyler to the airport. Before boarding, I asked him, will you be upset if I take you away? He shook his head and pressed his face against mine. Mom, I only need you. My tears finally fell. All the pain dissolved into relief. I pulled out my phone and blocked Matthew on every platform he could use to reach me. I thought, Matthew, this is goodbye. The next morning, he showed up at the office right on time. After what happened yesterday, he had been feeling uneasy. He opened his email and froze at the approval notice. A resignation letter? At that instant, the thought of leaving grew into a certainty I could not ignore. All right, I promise you, I'll always be with you. That night, no one mentioned Matthew. It felt like this home had always belonged only to the two of us. After Tyler fell asleep, I pulled out the divorce agreement I had prepared from the drawer. The last trace of hesitation left me. At 2 a.m., Matthew finally came home. When he saw the cake on the table, regret crossed his eyes. Sorry, I forgot. I found it almost funny. Could he not see the messages I had sent him? Or was his affair so intoxicating that he could forget everything else? I turned to the last page of the divorce agreement and handed it to him. I forced myself to stay calm. You can sign this? Before I could finish, Matthew's phone rang. Quilla's slightly panicked voice came through. Mr. Grant, it looks like the power is out at my place. Can you come? I'm scared. Matthew jumped up with concern in his eyes. Wait, I'll be right there. After hanging up, he signed the papers without reading them. I stepped back and quietly watched him leave. I thought, Matthew, remember this forever. You chose to walk away from this home. The next day, I returned to the office to hand over my work. Matthew came to me with a neatly wrapped gift. It's Tyler's birthday present. I forgot to give it to him yesterday. I paused in surprise, then took the gift and opened it. It was a toy puppy. Tyler was terrified of dogs. When he was 5, Matthew had taken Tyler to an amusement park. He let go of Tyler's hand midway because he ran into a friend. Tyler got separated from him and got lost in the crowd. When we finally found him, he was crouched on the sidewalk. He was shaking with fear because there was a stray dog nearby. Since then, dogs had been his worst nightmare. And the very person who was responsible wanted to give him a toy puppy as a present. I could not tell whether my anger or disappointment was stronger. I set the box aside and said calmly, "Thank you." Matthew gave me a puzzled look. Then, he seemed to remember something.